to the city. We'll go to town. Talk about it in the driveway. See if I won't fool around.
What's up? Happy Friday.
Talk about it on the couch now. See if I was spending the night.
What's that smoky bag? Let me see.
Just watching TV. See if I wasted our life. See if I wasted our life.
God, I love that fucking song. The Freaks. Free X from Martinez, California. Is there something wrong? Beautiful Friday morning. Well, no. Everything's fine. You guys hear about that January 6th insurrectionist? He got pardoned by Trump, and then a couple weeks later, I guess he got himself into an altercation with a sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop and got himself shot. I was laughing at that. I'm sorry. I think it's funny. There's nothing funny about violence. Sometimes there is. I don't know. Oh, had a hell of a night. When I'm here, I was gonna do this last night, and then I decided to put it off until this morning. Here I am. I got myself signed up with BetterHelp, and there's links. I put a link on Facebook, and a link on my new X page. Don't ask me why I made a new X page. That's a whole different story. But there's like a link where if people sign up, they get a discount, and then I get a discount on some therapy. So if you want a discount on therapy, check that out. 'Cause I could definitely use a discount, but it's not that expensive. It's like $60 a week, and then I get my weekly sessions with my therapist. This is with a promo code from another YouTube channel, and then I can get like all the free group sessions I want. So I thought that was cool. All right. Trump again demands to buy Greenland in horrendous call with Danish Prime Minister. Donald Trump had a fiery phone call with Danish Prime Minister, I think it's Mette Frederiksen, over his demands to buy Greenland, according to senior European officials. Speaking to the Financial Times, officials said that Trump, then still president-elect, spoke with Frederiksen for 45 minutes last week, during which he was described to be aggressive and confrontational about Frederiksen's refusal to sell Greenland to the U.S. You don't say. The Financial Times reports that according to 5 current and former senior European officials who were briefed on the call, the conversation was horrendous. One person said, "He was very firm. It was a cold shower. Before it was hard to take it seriously, but I do think it is serious and potentially very dangerous." Another person who was briefed on the call told the outlet the intent was very clear. They want it. The Danes are now in crisis mode. Someone else said the Danes are utterly freaked out by this. According to one former Danish official, the call was a very tough conversation, which Trump threatened specific measures against Denmark, such as targeted tariffs. So he's like, sell or we're going to fuck you financially. Trump has previously said that the U.S. needs to control Greenland and has refused to rule out using U.S. military force to take over the territory. During a press conference a few weeks ago, Trump said that the U.S. needed Greenland for economic security. The 836,300 square mile Arctic island is thought to be rich in oil and gas, as well as various raw materials for green technology. Fucking crazy. Some oh, too early. I can't even think of the word right now. What was that? Supposed to be getting any notifications? Everything turned off. It is off. That was weird. Okay, so speaking to TV2 earlier this month, Fredrickson said that the autonomous territory is not for sale, adding, seen through the eyes of the Danish government, Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders. The Danish presence in Greenland dates to colonial times, and the territory was transferred to the Danish crown when Denmark and Norway separated in 1814. In 1979, Home Rule was introduced. Despite Denmark controlling Greenland's foreign and security policy, Greenland has its own parliament. Okay. So that's happening. Trump threatens tariffs over immigration, drugs, and Greenland. In his first week in office, President Trump tried to browbeat governments across the world into ending the flow of drugs into America, accepting planes full of deported migrants, halting wars, and ceding territory to the United States. For all of them, he deployed a common threat. Countries that did not meet his demands would face stiff tariffs on products they sent to American consumers. Someone wants me to buy a subscription to read it. And here's the reply. Canada minister says any U.S. tariff response would not single out Alberta. Any Canadian response to U.S. tariffs will be regionally fair and equitable and not single out Alberta, Canada's main oil-producing province, Canada's Energy and Natural Resources Minister Jonathan Wilkins said on Wednesday. Wilkinson told reporters Canada's response would focus on products in a way that hurts Americans more than Canadians. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose 25% tariffs on all Canadian exports to the U.S. as soon as Saturday. Canada plans to respond with counter-tariffs on U.S. goods, and concerns the federal government could also restrict oil exports or impose export tariffs have caused tensions with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Wilkinson later said in an interview he believes Canada could still avoid being hit by tariffs entirely, adding Canada has already taken steps to address border security concerns raised by the U.S. Canada sends 75% of all goods and services exports to the United States. Canada has been the top source of U.S. oil imports for many years and supplied more than half of total U.S. crude imports in 2023. Wilkinson told reporters that Canada must not respond in a way that damages its own long-term interests or hits one single sector or region disproportionately. You cannot single out the West. It has to be something that is going to be fair, he said. If there is pain, Quebec will feel it, Ontario will feel it, and the West will feel it. Atlantic Canada will feel it. He told Reuters if tariffs were implemented, Canada's first response would be to retaliate against American goods sold in Canada, for which Canadian consumers can find alternatives. But he added that while Canada's response to U.S. tariffs would be thoughtful, he stopped short of ruling out oil export tariffs entirely. At this stage, you don't take any tools off the table, even if some of those tools are things that it's unlikely that you're going to use, at least in the early term. Oh, Jill says Trump won. Yeah, we're aware. Hello, Jill. And it's getting all this crazy news now about him. This one I thought was interesting. Pentagon Intelligence Agency pauses events activities related to Martin Luther King Day, Black History Month, in response to Donald Trump's executive order banning diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The Pentagon's intelligence agency paused special event programs and related events, including for Juneteenth, Martin Luther King Jr. Black Day, Black History Month, Holocaust Day of Remembrance, and Pride Month, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. Despite being on the list of the Defense Intelligence Agency's paused events and activities, the memo clarified that Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth will remain federal holidays. So what does that mean? The Defense Intelligence Agency is working with the Department of Defense to fully implement all executive orders and administration guidance in a timely manner, Lieutenant Commander Seth Clark, DIA spokesman, told ABC News in a statement when asked about the memo. As we receive additional guidance, we will continue to update our internal guidance. A copy of the memo began circulating on social media Wednesday morning. The affected events per the memo, which is dated January 28th, include Martin Luther King Jr. birthday, Black History Month, Women's History Month, Holocaust Day, and Days of Remembrance, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Pride, Juneteenth, Women's Equality Day, National Hispanic Employment Awareness Month, and National American Indian Heritage Month. The pause comes as Black History Month is set to begin on Saturday, February 1st. Oh, a lot of static. My bad. Thanks for letting me know, Halsey. There's always something wrong. Yeah, I may just have to kill it with this phone. Can you hear me now? It's better now. Yeah, I had to switch devices. Oh yeah, and then we hear about this whole thing, the drone story. I want to talk about that because Trump's like, oh, there's something suspicious going on with all these drones, and then he's like, oh yeah, it turns out the drones were nothing. J.D. Vance uses hillbilly faith magic medicine. Thought he had a Hindu wife though. Is that Vance? Yeah. The Donald Trump, he's out there. He's like, I don't know what's going on with the drone. Maybe it's aliens. Maybe it's the military. And he's like, oh, it was nothing. A week after taking office, President Trump said in a statement that the thousands of drones that were seen over the skies of New Jersey were not from foreign adversaries, but were instead authorized by the FAA. Surprise, surprise. Oh, come on. Let me close this damn ad. There we go. That statement raised numerous questions about why the FAA did not tell the FBI and law enforcement officers that the flights had been authorized by them, or why the FAA did not acknowledge that they had authorized the drone flights. Since his election, Trump had promised that he would get to the bottom of the drone mystery that gripped New Jersey since November, noting that drones had been spotted over his golf course in Bedminster. Here's what he said in a statement he found after, quote, research and study. The drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by FAA for research and various other reasons. This was not the enemy, Trump said in a written statement by Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt at the first press briefing of the new administration. There was no further explanation as to what research and various other reasons the FAA had authorized. In the statement, Leavitt said many of the drones spotted over New Jersey were also flown by hobbyists for recreational purposes. In time, it got worse because of curiosity. The FAA did not directly answer the question or say why the FAA did not admit the drones had been authorized by that agency. I think it's like stands to reason though. Like they don't have to admit it. They don't have to like tell you who's authorized to fly. They when asked why the FAA never revealed it, authorized the drones to fly for research purposes, FAA spokesman Christopher Malooly on Tuesday referred the matter to the White House for its official statement. He added for background that the FAA's role is to ensure drones operate safely within the broader national airspace system, and said it is legal to operate drones under 400 feet while complying with all rules, including avoiding restricted airspace and other aircraft. So the answer is none of your business. If you ain't flying, it's none of your business. He did not disclose that the drones had been authorized by the FAA. Similarly, when U.S. Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas said that the federal government has deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the state police in tracking down the drones to help allay resident fears over the drones. He never said that the drones were authorized by the FAA. So what's the discrepancy? There has been no official explanation as to why the FAA failed to tell New Jersey law enforcement, elected officials, as well as the public, that they had authorized all the mysterious drone flights before the White House statement Tuesday. Maybe because they weren't fucking mysterious. Did you ever think about that? There's nothing mysterious about it. It's like, what? You mean the drones that are normally flying, or they just happen to have a high level of drone traffic? J.D. Vance's wife worshipped Satan. Thanks, John. Thanks for the clarification. Trump said that trans people are making planes to fall from the sky, and Trump said that people with binoculars saw something. Yeah, no, no, seriously. So, and then there was the other story where they're shutting down whatever DEI programs, but like the language is so vague they don't even know what they're shutting down. They have no idea what he means. Like apparently there's no specific policies targeted by that, right? Just the term DEI, something if it's like in their policies, right? And they're like, because I don't really know what that means. Like, So that's what they said. They literally said that the language was too vague and they needed further explanation, which was the same with the holiday thing. There was also no explanation why, if the FAA had authorized the flights, the agency then placed temporary flight restrictions over parts of New Jersey for special security reasons. The restrictions prevented any unmanned aircraft from operating below feet within a nautical mile of the airspace. When the swarms of drones were first reported over New Jersey in November, state police as well as local law enforcement scrambled to track and monitor the drones and often questioned why they were unable to find where the drones were launching from or where they landed, probably because they were on private property. The FBI launched an investigation into the drone sightings after the New Jersey State Police reported seeing a large drone in the sky. In a joint statement on December 3rd, the FBI, Newark, New Jersey State Police, and New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness asked the public to report any information related to the recent sightings of possible drones flying in several areas along the Raritan River. After Trump's statement on Tuesday, Monmouth County Sheriff Sean Golden expressed extreme disappointment with the Federal Aviation Administration in a post on Facebook, noting that the drone activity caused widespread panic and fear among residents. The unexplained drone activity led to significant public concern with residents, members of law enforcement, state, federal, and local authorities scrambling for answers. Golden, a Republican, said on the post. The FAA's lack of transparency regarding the nature of the operation heightened alarm and created unnecessary anxiety in the community. It led to a waste of taxpayer resources to track and chase down suspicious reports. Ocean County Sheriff Michael Mastronardi, whose office went out nightly searching for drones at the height of the report, said, "I'm very pleased to find out that it was the government that was involved." What? Okay. Mastronardi had not ruled out foreign intrusions early in his hunt for the drones, which drew headlines. Just tell us what you're doing, and I'm good. Governor Phil Murphy posted on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. The platform formerly known as Twitter. I like that. Glad glad to see at White House confirmed there was no known threat to the public. Grateful for a partnership with law enforcement on this matter. Republican officials said they were angered that the Biden administration did not admit FAA involvement earlier. It's absurd that the Biden administration flat out lied to the American people for months about this. No, they didn't. They said exactly what Trump is saying now, and people thought they were full of shit. That's what happened. I remember it. I remember it clearly. Like, they said it's normal air flight, but we don't know that. It looks like aliens. And then now Trump says, "Oh no, it's just normal air traffic." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Why didn't Biden say that?" He did. He did say that. Somebody said it. This is some Paul Canatura. Yeah, whatever. They continually tried to tell everyone they were seeing things and nothing was going on when they knew what it was all along. It certainly begs the question, why? They didn't say there were no drones. They just said there were no like abnormal or unusual drones. So and yeah, State Senator John Bramnick, Somerset, added that there is no reason for the federal government to withhold this information from the public. The lack of communication from the Biden administration led to very real concern from New Jersey residents. Government transparency is paramount, and I appreciate the Trump administration providing this information to the public, he said. So now, Middletown Mayor Tony Perry told Fox News on Tuesday that local leaders were promised additional information soon from the White House, but he did not have a date that would occur. Sheriff Golden called on Congress to implement reforms to ensure transparency and collaboration with the state and local authorities in future operations. Residents of New Jersey were subjected to weeks of fear and uncertainty with no clear communication on or explanation at the time, Golden said. They were just freaking out for no reason. For the FAA to now claim this was for research shows a complete disregard for the trust and safety of our community. Maybe the research was on you. See how you react to a bunch of new. Yeah, I think that's the end of it. That was funny. I thought at the time, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, how's this even on the news? I saw a ship flying in the sky. What was it? It was a drone. And then they were just reporting like regular ass like civilian planes and helicopters and stuff. Like anything that was flying. They're like, oh my god. They're like the birds aren't real people or something. They're all amassing in New Jersey. I guess. I have a birds aren't real sticker on my desk. But it was there when I got it. There's a bunch of stickers on it. Well, we'll just end with something to lighten the mood here. Deported Colombian migrants complain of despotic, humiliating treatment. Those sent back to homeland didn't have criminal records, their government says. Bogota, Colombia. Exhausted and grimy after days of detention in the U.S., migrants began arriving Tuesday at their homeland's capital aboard Colombian government jets, part of what the Trump administration calls America's largest ever mass deportation. Oh, and they want me to buy a subscription too. So yeah, he wants to send all these military planes over to take the migrants out. And I heard it's in the thousands. I know they had like a roundup with like 200 or so migrants here in Bakersfield, I believe it was, or Fresno, California. Um, and that was like just before the inauguration. And so now they said they've gotten a bunch more. Yeah, they're saying they weren't treated very well when they were over here. Nope, no, they probably weren't. Guessing that's a negative. All right, well, that's the news. Is there something wrong? Yeah, there's always something wrong. But yeah, it's a beautiful day here. I gotta go get ready and go to work. So I thought I'd pop in, share the news with you. Trump is a white Christian nationalist. Yes, and Elon Musk apparently is a secret Nazi as well. Um, First he does the Sieg Heil salute, right? Which is completely obvious. I can't believe like when he's like, I don't know if that's a Nazi salute. I'm like, dude, look at it. Obviously he's a goofy ass Nazi salute, but he's a Nazi saluter, and that he's part of this like funding this German political group that basically wants to say, oh, the Nazis weren't that bad. We shouldn't say the Nazis were bad. Hand in the air, Trump says it's okay. Nazi in the USA. Uh, yep. So it has always been. So with that, live long and prosper. Be well and stay trusted. I don't know where to go. Oh, there it is.